Like, the last thing on my mind, and I don't mean it in the sense of like the last thing, but like what's on the front of my mind was I'm so tired of driving and being awake.
That's a very weird statement.
It is, but like, I mean, this is like.
So why not go to bed?
No, not. I mean, I wish I could, but like, I've been up so much, except for so last night was the first time I've gotten a good night's sleep in a hot minute, and by that I mean I overslept actually because I laid down around 6 o'clock, woke up at like 9. Woke up at 9. My roommates gave me some food, and then I didn't eat that food and fell back asleep. Woke up at like 11, ate half of the food, put it in the fridge, and went right back to bed until like 7 this morning.
That's funny.
Like, that was like, oh man, I slept so long. It was great. Beyond that.
You know what I did this last weekend?
Be sick?
I watched all of Lord of the Rings.
Oh my god.
For the first time in years, and it was so good. It was so much better than I remember.
Wait, do you watch the extended?
Yeah.
How do you have do you have my extended? Damn it. Where are my extended?
No, I've got it on demand or whatever.
HBO Max?
No.
Oh. So I think they have the extended.
Yeah, they probably do. But people who have seen plenty of episodes, we talk about Lord of the Rings and how great it is and how much we love it and everything.
Yeah.
Watching it again, I was just like, yeah, it's even better than what I talk
every
about.
Every time I watch it, I'm just like, this is such a good movie.
It's so good.
Now, granted, I still sit where I sit, that the Two Towers is my least favorite. Like, I know you like the Two Towers, but okay, I have the same belief that a lot of people, I think, do with sequels, right? So sequels, a lot of the times they fall short is because they either A, introduce new things that wasn't established prior, or they rely way too heavily on the things that were established prior.
Okay.
Like, there needs to be a nice little mixture of.
And I think Two Towers does that.
It does do a good mixture of it, but I just don't like it. I find it so boring.
Because Two Towers follows up the storyline.
Yeah.
But then also introduces new elements.
Yeah,
throughout the whole thing.
I think the war is the first element that they really truly introduce, is that there is a war. Like, not that men aren't fighting and stuff like that, but the fact that that's the first time we actually see a war taking place, fighting. We get introduced to a new country entirely.
Yeah.
Although technically, I guess in the first one they introduce us to Rohan, but via dialogue and not actually there. Because I think Gandalf talks. Well, maybe not in the movies, but I'm pretty sure Boromir talks about it. Because he said he rode through the gap of Rohan.
Yeah, but watching it again, I think that it's amazing. All of them were good. I don't know if I would consider Two Towers my favorite anymore. Because I get what you're saying, but it is really excellent.
Yes.
But then I want to take all the other elements that make each of the movies as one-off.
Yeah, standalones.
And standalone, I think Return of the King.
Oh, yeah. Standalone, if we're going standalone. Yes, Return of the King.
I think Return of the King is like, you can
hands down.
If you just were like, hey, Lord of the Rings, here's a 4.5-hour Lord of the Rings movie, that you'll be like, wow,
so
that was gripping.
It takes hold, because there's a story with you where you follow all the characters in the third one. Where in the first one, yes, you follow them all, but it's one group. And then when they split off in the second one, you kind of follow them, but I feel like you're lacking some information and details that's going on. Or they focus way too heavily on the three. That did bother me. That was way too.
Versus, there's a lot less time spent with Frodo and Sam in the second movie,
which is a better storyline. Like, honestly, in 2, had they focused way more on Sam and Frodo, I think would have been more interesting, because we gotten character development for everyone in that group, including Gollum. And it's like, but you get so little of it that it's just like, And then the third one focuses them enough that you get a good story development or character development, and then you follow Pippin and his storyline, you follow Gandalf and Mary's storyline, you follow Mary's storyline, you follow Aragorn's storyline, you follow all of these character storylines to what feels like a well-deserved ending.
Yeah, it was
where
solid.
It's like, but now that being said, if we're going standalone, yes, Return of the King is the best. Fellowship of the Ring is my favorite.
Fellowship's still your favorite?
Yeah. Because I will objectively say Return of the King, standalone, best one. But like, my personal opinion, if I could watch only one of them over and over again, it would be Fellowship of the Ring. Like, even though it ends on that nice little cliffhanger of them walking away.
Yeah, it's good though.
It just holds to me.
It is good, and the fight the ending fight scene is good too, even though it's made up, right? Like that fight itself is made up, isn't it?
No, they just gave us details that weren't in the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it definitely came across like Peter Jackson when he was making these was like each movie still has to, even though it's a 3-act structure, each movie has to be a 3-act.
You're talking about After Lothlorien, right?
After Lothlorien, yes.
Yeah, that's in the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't remember.
It's how Boromir dies in the book too.
Boromir.
Yep.
I don't remember Boromir dying in the book.
They freaking flap his arms on his chest and shove him over the boat into the waterfall at the end of that one.
Okay.
Aragorn sings a song.
Okay. I just don't remember. I just don't remember that part.
Yeah, like that's totally in the books too. Like he took no liberties like by adding his own feel to it. Really, he just like in the sense of being like he didn't add extra scenes. If anything, he took away stuff from the book.
Right.
And so
yeah, because I'm trying to think. I can't think of any scene that specifically is completely fiction.
Yeah.
Except for fiction. It's all fiction.
It's all fiction.
The one scene where Merry and Pippin wake up and they're drinking water in Fangorn Forest, and then Old Man Willow swallows them, and Treebeard comes and rescues them from Old Man. That was the only thing that I was like, first off, we didn't need that. That was the only extended scene I can think of that I was like, that could have been taken out.
Wait, what? What?
You know what I'm talking about.
Are you sure that's how that works?
In Two Towers? Yes, in the Two Towers, Merry wakes up after they've been hanging out with Treebeard for a while.
Are you sure Old Man Willow wasn't in the first one?
He's not.
Did they do it in the second one?
They did it in the second one.
Oh,
in the middle of Fangorn Forest with just Merry and Pippin.
I think, okay, so he did take some liberties, but he didn't...
And Treebeard has Tom Bombadil's dialogue, which I'm fine with. I think it worked. But I was just, that whole scene, I was like, if you're going to cut something, that was definitely a cut.
I guess, I get what you're saying, because, like, he didn't technically make up the scene, but he changed locations.
He took a lot of pieces from other things and shoved it into one.
He only took one location. Or he took two locations. Think about it. Because he took the Tom Bombadil scene, which is where Old Man Willow is at.
Yes.
And then he was like, well, we didn't do it in the first one, so let's transpose it over here instead.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, you shouldn't have done that. You should have just left it at be because you ignored it in the first movie.
Yeah, but then they also added in the magic water. Like, it's not that they added it in, but I'm saying they took little pieces, like they took Treebeard and made him Tom Bombadil for a second.
Yeah.
They took the scene of Old Man Willow, cut two of the characters out of it, and then also the whole sleepy part, cut that out of it entirely. Because Old Man Willow doesn't put him to sleep and then kill him. He literally just starts killing them.
No, he puts him to sleep. In the book, okay, so.
In the book?
Yeah, in the book he told him.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like,
in the book, yes, but not in the movie.
Yeah, in the movie.
In the movie, they're running over him, and then one of the branches, they kind of trip over the root, and then he just grabs him and pulls him in.
Okay, so you're saying in the movie they
do some weird stuff, and I was like, honestly, this shouldn't have even been in the extended edition.
Yeah, honestly,
you should have just not done
Old Man Willow was very interesting because, like, apparently he could talk.
Yeah, but like in your head.
Well, I think only in the tree. Like, where you could hear him talking when you were in the tree.
Yeah, because I think Pippin specifically says, I hear him.
Yeah.
I hear him talking to me.
Mary's like, hey, don't do that. He says he'll kill us. He'll cut me in two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So he can talk if you're inside of him.
Yeah. And I think it more came
Other than that, he lulls you.
See, this is something I found interesting in Lord of the Rings. I didn't think about it before, but, like, everything talks. Literally, the trees, like, everything talks, including animals. Do you remember the scene where the fox sees hobbits, and it's like, hobbits?
How queer.
Yeah, it's like, wait.
Because they're like, yeah, I love that part. That's one of my favorite parts is because it's just like, out of nowhere, all the hobbits are sleeping under a tree in the woods, and a fox is like, hobbits? Sleeping in the woods under a tree? How queer, and then moves on. Yeah, it's like, we never know anything about that fox ever again. But it's like, but for some reason, that fox just shows up.
He had dialogue.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, what? That was so weird. That was like the weirdest sentence in the entire book.
Yes. Hobbits.
So good. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it.
And then I love the fact that J.R. Tolkien even proceeds to be like, and the fox never found out.
Why they were, yeah, exactly. He goes on to be like,
I also want to know why this fox is here.
Just for those curious while reading, the conclusion to the fox's story is that he never finds out and always questions why he came across hobbits sleeping in the woods. as it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, like it's like, and no other animal do we really have talking again until we get to the Hobbit, which I know is technically before. But it's like, so the Hobbit has talking animals. It's mainly birds. I mean, I guess in Lord of the Rings they talk about the fact that the Carrigans talk, but they're like, you have to know the language.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's cool. But like in the Hobbit, it's like everything's talking. Spiders, freaking squirrels, like birds, all of them are talking. Yeah. And it's just like, so in his world, all these animals have their own conversation. Yeah. And even, I think in Lord of the Rings, it may even mention that hobbits can talk to some of those animals. But like whether or not they do, or even acknowledge them, is a totally different thing entirely.
Yeah. I don't know. It's definitely weird, but it's fun. But they're great. There was a few liberties watching it again and remembering more of the book. There were a few liberties that were taken that I was like, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, no.
But it is a little weird. Like, it is a little weird that elves show up at Helm's Deep. That's a little strange.
Yeah, because in the movies, the elves show up, but technically in the books, they don't ever show up.
Right.
Yeah.
No one comes to help them.
Well, technically they do. Just not elves.
Well, the Rohirrim show up.
Yeah, the actual army of the Rohirrim show up.
Yeah, but...
there is one elf.
Legolas?
No, the elf that dies.
Oh, he actually is there?
He's the only other person there.
Are you talking about,
Gladrun?
No, it's,
Halmdor?
Hadar.
It's not Hadar. It's not his name. That's like a dwarven name. Like he makes his elves have like a weird like la 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 la.
Yeah, but
but yeah, it does start with an H.
Yeah.
He shows up.
It's something like Hador. It's not Hador. You're right, but it is something like Hador.
Yeah, he shows up in the book to help them fight.
Okay,
and he also dies there.
Okay.
So like,
right on.
That was an interesting scene, I think, to me, where but he for some reason brought an elf army.
And then so like even if you take the book away and like let's just forget the book for a second.
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
That also doesn't make sense because the opening to Fellowship of the Ring tells us the last alliance of men and elves was to fight Sauron in their opening dialogue. Then you go to movie 2 and elves ally with men. And I'm like, well, you just ruined your whole setup where you said it was the last alliance.
No, that wasn't a future.
It's no longer the last alliance.
Yeah, that wasn't a future telling. I was just saying the last time elves and men got together was for the Battle of Sauron.
It definitely comes across like this is the last alliance of men and elves.
Yeah, no, that's not the case. They were literally saying the last time we got together, men and elves got together, was during the Second Age. Right before the Third Age was to fight Sauron.
The event that makes the Third Age.
Yeah. Like, that was the last alliance. That's all they were meaning by that. Because like then later on, you take it as the story progresses, because you are now part of the journey that's taken place, which is there is now a new alliance.
So now the last alliance is to defend Helm's Deep.
Yeah, because elves don't show up for the final battle, do they?
No.
Yeah.
That's why they also shouldn't have showed up at Helm's Deep. It doesn't make sense.
No, I mean, it kind of, but we still have one elf that shows up. It kind of makes sense where they're like, oh.
Look, I'm not arguing. This is not the hill I'm dying on.
Okay.
All right.
It's the hill I'll die on.
It's not the hill I'm dying on. It's just one of those things where I was like, I find it a bit odd, but it's still good.
Yeah.
Because I love the movies. Still good. Those are the two things that really stood out to me to be like, that was weird, was the whole scene that I'm like, you literally could have cut this from the extended and we wouldn't have lost a thing.
I would have preferred him to have Tom Bombadil. Do you know his reasoning for not adding Tom Bombadil was because he was like, he didn't add to the story? Then it's like, then why'd you add that scene in the second movie?
Yeah.
It didn't add to the story. Yeah. Like, we didn't need to see Old Man Willow.
Because I do kind of get cutting Tom Bombadil, because that's a whole lot of stuff that happens that overall you could say we didn't need it.
You skip the Barrow Wights, which is just another segue scene, and then you skipped Old Man Willow, you skipped Tom.
I would say all that stuff is really great for world building. Yes. So in a book, it's awesome. It's perfect. In a movie, you're like, we have enough world building.
Yeah, I mean, story-wise, there's so much.
Yeah.
And like, it makes sense that you would cut them out, but like, another reasoning that he had was like it didn't add to the story, and then the fact is he's like, people would just ask, why doesn't Tom Bombadil do stuff? Because like he's a god, right? Like basically. Clearly.
Yeah, he is essentially a god.
And it's like, oh yeah.
I do get why they cut him, but yeah, I don't think they should have that. But other than that, I don't really have any complaints about the movies.
No, like I don't either. Like I think the movies, hands down to this day, is one of the best book to movie adaptations.
Okay, no, I do have one more thing that really peeves me off, that it used to not, but now it does, is the fact that Sauron has a giant mace
Oh, yeah, in the books, he doesn't even use a weapon?
He doesn't use a weapon.
Yeah.
Because the reason it pees me off is I'm sitting there, we watch him literally just like flailing. Is flail the right word?
Maybe.
Flail, because it's spikes and you're hitting them. Fail?
No, it'd still be flail.
Anyways, he's smacking these people.
I would say clubbing, because I think technically the flail...
Cleaving?
Yeah, I think...
No, the cleave would be with an axe.
I think flailing is technically the actual Morning Star. That's not even called a Morning Star, because what he's wielding is a Morning Star. The ones with the ball and chain is flailing somebody.
Okay. So he's hitting people.
Yeah, he's clubbing them to death.
He's hitting people. It's like 6 at a time as he's just boom. And then boom. And it's like, wow, this dude's really powerful. And then Isildur is down on the ground. And he goes, holding his claw. You see it. And he's like, And he's like, now I can cut your ring off. And it's like, oh, dang it. Why did I just hit you?
Yeah, why did
I just hit you?
Smash you
But
into
it makes sense in the books because he doesn't use a weapon because his hands are his weapons.
Yeah, because he's a magic creature.
Literally just like drains life from people. He's just like, and so him reaching to kill him makes sense.
Yeah,
but in the movie it makes no sense because I'm like, dude, just hit him with the thing.
Although in the book,
so that's it. It used to not bother me, and it just the last time, like I said, I just watched it, and that was I was sitting there, I was like, why aren't you hitting him?
Okay,
just
then
hit him.
I'm gonna go on the opposite side of it because in the book it doesn't truly make sense that he has no weapon in an army situation.
Okay.
But in like an army situation, like a war, why does he have no weapons? I get he can drain people, but he can't drain multiple people at once.
Yeah.
So like him having a weapon, I think also is where Peter Jackson came to, where he's like, how is he in this giant battle with no weapon? And it's like, because everyone who came up to him, were they fighting him individually? That's what it seems like. And it's like, so...
I don't know, or he's just that powerful that people are glancing, it's all glancing blows, and he's just like, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Who knows? Like,
I feel like it makes him more powerful to be like, I don't even use weapons.
Yeah, it does. But it doesn't make sense when you're actually reading it. Because it's just like, I don't get how he's doing anything.
I'll give you that. It's just... So then you it's one or the other. Like, so it's either it's not going to make sense because it's like, how is he so powerful without even using a weapon when we're saying he has to touch them?
Yeah. Versus
give him a weapon, and then it's like, well, then why is he reaching down to touch him?
Yeah, why is he touching him? And so this is my theory. The only reason I give this any sort of leeway is that he was like, this is the last king of Numenor. And he did go out of his way specifically to kill all of the kings of Numenor.
Yeah, because I mean, he did just finish killing his dad. Yeah. And he just finished killing that elf guy.
Well, also he sent the Witch King before then to Arnor to kill Isildur's brother, who already had a kingdom there.
Okay, yeah.
And so like he was like eliminating that line. And so then it's like, maybe he was just like, I'm going to do this with my hands. I'm going to kill you.
Okay.
And like, that was my only other thought process.
So he's
like,
stupid.
It's personal.
So Sauron's stupid.
Not stupid, it's personal. He let personal feelings get in the way. Because think about it, the Numenorians were the only ones who captured him and stopped him. Yep. The Numenorians were the first one to realize that he was a bad person and they kicked him out. And then the Numenorians were the only ones who were like, hey, we need to rise together to kill this man.
Yeah.
And so like...
That's a good point.
I think it was
so he did have a vendetta against the Numenorians.
Yeah, I think it was just a personal, like, he's like, I'm going to make sure I strangle you with my bare hands kind of thing. Yeah. And it's like, so...
Not even that he'd have to strangle him. He literally just needed to touch him.
Yeah. And so like, I thought, I always rationalized it that it was a personal attack.
Okay.
And not I just should smash you, but it was like, no, I want to feel your life drain.
Glad to hear your argument. I still think it's dumb.
Oh, it's stupid.
But I love it. I absolutely love it.
It's stupid,
great.
But it's the only way I could rationalize it for me to watch that scene.
I don't think there is any rationalization.
I think
it's just that, it had to happen for the plot.
Yeah. There's a lot of things in the books too that feel like they just happened because he needed them.
Yeah, and then, but Tolkien has it written in that like luck is a thing.
Yes,
that
very
lucky
much.
Things happen is because because there are gods and gods make lucky things happen. It's that's a good excuse for you being like, I need this to happen.
Yeah. Well, we think about the vision that Frodo got about Gandalf in the tower. Do you know that came from Manwë, the sea god?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weren't most of his visions from Manwë?
Mm-hmm. A lot of people's visions, the elves, the humans, Frodo's, a lot of them came from Manwë, who was watching and just being like, hey, things are going on and we need to fix it. And the other guys are like, let them do their own thing. And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to send them this information that they need.
Don't walk through that way, walk around.
She's like, but love me.
Yeah, walk around. 21 minutes.
Hey, girl. You are more gross to me. It's just because that tongue is
Oh,
insane.
gosh. You guys, can you watch where you're going? Please.
She's like, you called me?
Hey.
I'm back.
Hi.
I mean...
Don't lick me.
I have a question for you.
Don't lick me.
Did you ever watch...
Ew, you're so gross. Go. Ew.
No, thank you. Did you ever watch...
Ew, go. Ew.
Princess Bride?
The Princess Bride?
I think... Is that the old one? Like the 1987 movie?
Yeah, something like that, right?
Or like there's like the Dread Pirate Robert?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
Princess
watched
Bride.
that?
Oh, yeah, so good.
Okay, so
Solid.
You're one of those people who did watch it and liked it. Okay.
Yeah, dude, like 9 out of 10.
Oh my god. So I've never watched the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've never watched it.
Well, then how do you know you don't like it?
So this is what I was talking to Wes about. Because it's one of his favorite movies.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I was just like, I've seen enough clips and memes and other things that I've pieced the movie together, and I've watched even reviews about it, where I was just like...
That's called cultural osmosis?
Maybe? I don't know.
Like how everybody knows the end of Sixth Sense, whether you watched it or not.
Yeah, I've never watched Sixth Sense.
Yeah, me neither. It's like everybody knows it because cultural osmosis.
Yeah, where you say so many people
The
just talk
Matrix.
about it.
People who have never seen The Matrix, they know bullet time Neo, this and that.
Right.
Everyone knows Harry Potter.
Yeah, and
Voldemort.
So that's where I sit with that movie, where I'm like,
Cultural osmosis.
I know a lot about it enough that I don't ever want to watch this movie, and so I formed an opinion of myself whatever. I formed an opinion.
Yeah.
Of the movie.
Yeah.
And which is that I'm like, I don't ever want to watch this movie. It doesn't interest me.
It's a good movie.
There's a lot of things in it that I'm like, I could see it being either A, funny, or B, clever for that time period. And I'm giving quotations because for that time period, I feel like it may have added to some of what we consider stereotypes that a movie should have. Because it does seem like it formed, to a degree, some stereotypes that take place in adventure-like movies like that.
Yeah.
And so, like, after watching a more recent review of it, I was like, no, I don't like this movie. I don't want to watch it ever.
I think it's really good, man. I think you're missing out.
No, I'll be fine with never watching that movie.
We're going to have to watch it. I'm going to make you watch it one day.
How are you going to make me watch that movie?
Because I'll force you to do a Bear Thing episode about it.
Oh my god!
Because remember, we still got to watch Pitch Black. And we're going to do a Pitch Black.
Dude, I want to watch that so good. So much.
So good. I want to watch that so good. Yeah.
Like, I want to watch that one. That one, just because I've already seen the movie, and it's so good.
Pitch Black's great. Yeah, absolutely.
So we're talking about the first...
Huh?
We're talking about the first one?
Pitch Black. Yeah.
Okay, so are we going to skip the other ones?
I really just want to watch Pitch Black.
Okay, because I want to watch Pitch Black, and then I want to watch the new Pitch Black, which I forget what that was called. I think it was just called Riddick.
Wasn't it just Riddick?
Yeah.
Yeah, where it was, you're right. It was totally just, let's try to remake Pitch Black.
Yeah. Like, it was so freaking good. It's not as good as the teacup scene and all that other nonsense, but...
I thought that one was boring.
Dude, I loved it because I was just like...
Yeah, we'll watch it. We'll watch all of them.
This is so bad.
We'll watch all of them.
This movie.
Yeah,
like, but there's movies like that, right? Like, because technically, the movie Princess Bride is a cult classic.
Yeah, cult classic.
Because it didn't.
I think Pitch Black is a cult classic.
Yeah, it didn't. Neither of them actually did good in box offices, but they did great when they came out. Like,
what's another?
Over time, I guess they did great.
There's a few really big. I think even Pulp Fiction is a cult classic. I think it didn't do good in theaters.
It probably is. I mean, is Django a cult classic? I feel like a lot of his movies are cult classics.
They might be.
Where it's just like they didn't get well received, but as people proceeded to
Reservoir Dogs,
them,
cult classic.
They were good.
Yeah.
And it's like
that might be the case.
They built a fan base. Like, what's that movie, The Room? Oh, God.
The Room, cult classic.
God, that's such an awful movie.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Dude, it's so good.
No, it's not.
I watched it for the first time a few months ago. It was awesome. Was dude.
Is it the disaster movie? Is that what it's based off of? Or not that. Sorry. Is the disaster movie based off of that one? The one with James Franco and Danny Franco?
Maybe.
Is that what that movie was called? Where they made The Room?
Yeah.
Or it's a mockumentary.
There's a mockumentary. Yeah.
Like, that was good. I liked that.
The Room is great.
That was amazing. And then I watched part of The Room. I think I made it like 20, 30 minutes into that movie, and I was like, I just can't.
Don't watch it alone. Don't watch it alone. I couldn't watch it alone. You got to watch it with somebody to talk to.
I don't want to watch
to like acknowledge how ridiculous this is.
Yeah,
it's like, you see this too, right? It's like, yeah, I know. I don't know who this is.
See, my problem is when I watch something like that, I'm just going to ignore the movie and talk to you. And then if you point something out, I'll be like, yeah, it's awful.
Well, how about you leave in the comments what are some cult classics that you like?
Actually, leave in the comments cult classics you would like us to watch and review, because we'll review some movies. Like, once we get the setup kind of done, we are going to start doing. It's taking way longer than expected, and then this hiatus has not helped.
Yeah, because I don't talk about the mythical computer anymore. The mythical
computer exists.
Exists now. Yes, it does exist now. So now it's to get better camera equipment, better microphone setup, tables.
Well, now it's just a dedicated office.
We need a space. Yeah, we need to get the space set up.
Which we have a location. It's now just getting all the equipment.
Yeah. And then I think we should start doing commentary tracks, because the Revenge of the Sith commentary track did really well. People liked it.
Oh, heck yeah. I didn't know that. I was too drunk to remember that one.
Oh, yeah. Well,
by the end of the night, I was.
You mean the post show?
The post
show was crazy.
I don't want to get that drunk again.
Yeah, dude, this May the 4th is going to be great. Coming up real soon. It's already March.
Yeah?
It's going to be good.
Yeah, oh my God, it is March.
Yeah, it's coming up real soon. We're going to be watching A New Hope. We get to see it from the beginning.
I hate that movie.
I know. See, this is going to be great because, like, I think this is the one that we're the most polar opposite, where I'm like, this is the best one, and you're like, it's the worst one.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I think 1 and 2 are absolutely
1 and 2
terrible.
are garbage, but they still at least interest me more than the New Hope does.
See, no, I can't agree with it. Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting one. This is going to be an interesting one to watch. But, coming up in a couple months.
Yeah.
And we'll be doing it live, just like last year.
Yeah. Dude, that kind of sucks. We've already went through my favorite one.
Well, it's fine. We're also going to watch episode 3.
Oh, yeah. Your 5th. Are we going to also watch the new ones?
What do you mean?
Eventually, are we going to get to 7?
Yeah, we're going to have to. Yeah. Because, so on that note, Prather has been bugging me because of the fact that I've been enlightening him on how bad 7, 8, and 9 are. And he's like, I guess I really don't remember. And he's like, how many times did you watch them? I was like, I watched them once a piece, except Force Awakens I watched twice in the same day. And he's like, how do you remember so much about it? And I was like, because I hate them.
It's like, when you have a strong passion, whether it be loving or hating it, you remember a lot more details.
Yeah, where he was like, I don't know, I thought they were good. And I'm like, do you remember this? He's like, no, I don't. And I'm like, yeah, well, that was a thing. And he's like, you're making that up. And he's like, we just kind of have to watch them. I was like, we'll watch them in a few years. I'm not watching them.
See, I just had a dispassion for them, not strong or otherwise. So I was just like, I don't remember. Actually, no, I remember quite a bit of them.
Yeah. No, that's the thing, is you and I actually, I don't know. I might remember more than you do.
Yeah, you definitely do.
But you still remember more than most people who probably like it. That are like, oh, dude, yeah, 7, 8, 9, they were really good. And you'd be like, oh, what about this thing? Like, I don't remember that thing. It's like, oh, all right, I guess you don't remember that thing.
You don't remember that terrible movie then.
Like, you remember Claude from Tross?
No, wait. No.
Yep, nobody remembers Claude. I remember Claude.
Not right offhand. No.
I totally remember Claude. Giant slug guy.
I just remember. That's not even the first one.
He was throughout the whole movie. He had a total of like 2-3 minutes of screen time.
Throughout the whole movie?
Throughout the whole movie. He had like 2 or 3 minutes of screen time.
How does that throughout the whole movie?
Well, because it's like 15 seconds here, 10 seconds there, 3 seconds there.
Oh, like he was like background character.
Yeah, he was there the whole time. They call him by name, though, at the very beginning of the movie. They're like, Claude, fix that.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, Claude, huh? And then I noticed he's there throughout the whole thing. I'm like, yeah, Claude.
It's like, I see you, Claude. What are you doing?
I'm watching you, Claude. And then I bring up, like, yeah, you remember Claude? And everyone's like, no, I don't remember Claude. I'm like, I remember Claude. I remember Claude because I remember being like,
I remember the bad days.
All right, bye, everybody.
We love you guys.